lovelies! Finally, welcome back to another regular type of video. As you guys can see, after the UK holiday there was kind of a lot of footage to go through, so I just ended up spending all the time going through all that footage and then getting all the UK vlogs up relatively late in timing. But I'm finally back and I plan to be making 2 videos a week again. It feels really good to be back. I really want to apologize about how I'm looking right now. I just did a workout, like a HIIT workout. Is there sweat still? No, it looks like it dried off finally. So I'm still wearing my workout clothes and I just threw the craziness into a bun. So I'm looking a little bit crazy right now. Apologize about that. I washed my face and put on a little bit of like luminescent stuff. So grab yourself a cup of breastfeeding tea or normal tea. That's what I have, is breastfeeding tea right now. And let's go ahead and do a Ask Danielle. I asked you guys on Instagram to give me any questions you had. I kind of wanted to make it fitness related, but there were a good amount of fitness questions, but there was a lot of like mom questions and just all kinds of stuff. Like also a lot of you guys, I think I should just start like a series on living abroad and Germany, because every time I do one of these, I probably get more questions in regards to Germany, missing home, going back to America, more than any other question apart from like if I'm gonna have more babies. So let's go ahead and just head over to Instagram, and Insta stories is where you guys always are. So I got more questions there than in the feed for sure. Go ahead and start with in the actual Instagram feed where I posted a picture. There's 5 questions there. Favorite part of the body to work? What exercises in particular? Planning to film your workouts more? So my favorite part, well, my most frequently worked part at the moment is the glutes, because that's what I'm working on the most. And I do enjoy working the glutes. Like I've really enjoyed feeling the burn, I guess you can say, and really activating them. It's quite fascinating. Because I didn't really realize how asleep my glutes were until I started like doing pre-activation exercises and then heavy lifting. So I definitely work the glutes the most. So I really like the hip abductor actually. I find it's kind of relaxing because I just go to the gym and I tend to do a lot of reps on that and it burns like crazy. However, you just get to like sit there and do it, you know. It's like super like nice to just sit and like feel like you're getting a proper burn. So probably just like hip abduction. I really like my resistance bands as well. I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with hip thrusts. After they're done, I'm like, yes, killed it. But at the moment, that's what I'm lifting. That's the heaviest right now, and it's like the exercise I probably do the most frequently throughout the week, like between 3 to 4 times a week, so I get kind of sick of it on the same note. So yeah, probably just the hip abduction machine. Or I don't like squats at all. I never have liked squats. I do them sometimes, but I've always hated squats. I love to run, like whenever I get the chance to go for a jog, like when I feel like the weather's good enough, because I have a really sensitive respiratory system in my ears as well. I have like little muffs I can put on my ears, but like I find if I jog too much, like my respiratory system just gets messed up in the colder weather. So in the summer I find myself jogging at least 3 to 4 times a week, and I just love running. Like it's so therapeutic for me. I don't know what it is. It's kind of like in my genes, I think. Oh, this is a really interesting one. Okay, so did I say who the last person was? I don't know. But this person is M. Clark XX. When do you find time to get to the gym? If you move to the UK, where would you most like to live? How does hubby feel about leaving Germany, hypothetically speaking? This is really good. I like all these questions. Okay, so the first one, when do you find time to get to the gym? So yeah, I usually go on the weekends, which doesn't sound like a lot of fun to people, but I usually go on the weekends. I try to leave Saturday as kind of like a rest day, because that's usually like such a crazy day for our family, but sometimes I do end up going, like it's just like grocery shopping day. It's just such a busy day. Like we get to work out just like normal, like on a Saturday, so I don't really worry about it too much. But Sundays are like kind of like my first day back. I was going to the gym in the summer at 5:30. Like I think I did it about 5 or 6 times before we left to the UK holiday, and I kind of got into a rhythm and I really liked it. However, like now it's like pitch black, freezing cold, and I ride my bike there, and it doesn't really seem A, safe, B, it's not desirable at all. I'm in complete hibernation mode. I'm very in the mode of the season, so I've just been like going right after dinner some days during the week. So it's just like I don't really have the time for it. I'd love to, like Darian might be starting like a little play group soon. And I might have a couple days during the week where I can go at like a nice hour, like 10 o'clock in the morning, where it's not busy. That was just like a dream. So if he does, that's when I will hopefully be doing it. But right now it's just, I squeeze it in there however I can. Hubby, I don't know about the Germany thing. I mean, I talked to him about it. I was like, because a lot of his family and stuff, like they're moving like really close to home, and I was kind of like not that we're far from his home, but they're like planning to move really close to home. So I'm like, how do you feel about like this whole thing? Like, you know, your family, they kind of like got into relations with other Germans, and now they're just moving basically right next door to your mom. Kind of because of his job, like he just needs to be close to like big cities. Like it's easier for some of his family members to like move to like outskirt villages and stuff. I was like, how do you feel? Like, does it make you kind of sad that like we can't just do that, and like you have this crazy American wife who wants to move to the UK now because like his family members got into relations with other Germans, and it is kind of like, for us it can be really frustrating to see people like who have family both sides in the same country or even in the same sort of, like they're not super close but like span, you know what I mean? Because like it is just such a scramble, and now we're like basically having hopes to move to a place where we don't have any family at all. So it's a bit, I don't know, I think like he loves his mountains and he loves the landscape here, like overall in general, like his friend circle and like how he feels about like German life is not that like, you know, excitable. Like he actually really, if America would be like more stable, we would actually both prefer to live there people-wise. Like hubby loves American people. He loved his time in Massachusetts, is where he did like a whole year, and that's how we ended up meeting and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. I think that Hubs is very spontaneous and American in a lot of ways, like me. So I don't know. I'd have to ask him really how he feels about it. Like really like ask him, you know what I mean? Because all I asked really was, how do you feel about the fact that everybody's moving close to home but you, and now I want to go to the UK? And he does too, obviously, but I'm kind of like the head starter in this conversation, you could say. And then where would I like to move to in the UK? I'm not really picky, but Sussex area was freaking glorious. I did really like it there. I thought everywhere was just so beautiful, and I didn't really see like that many parts of the UK, I guess you could say, yet. I really, really liked that little town. Obviously, it would be kind of impossible to find like a place right in that little town we were staying in. I don't know, I have like a friend who lives in Manchester, and I was hearing that there's a lot of nice places up there too, so I'm not really picky, but definitely somewhere with a nice neighborhood and somewhere with good jobs. What part of you, if any, of the German culture / norms do you like better than American culture / norms? Oh, really good question. This was by Jamie Carlisle. I really like that everybody rides their bikes here, and I really like that everybody gets outside when the weather's nice. I really like that you can live a more economically friendly lifestyle here, because like the society like really builds it in a way that it's easy for you to do that, and they really prioritize like order, tidiness. There's a lot of really good German qualities. I know sometimes it seems like I complain a lot about Germany, but like I think Germany may be like one of the most together societies. Are you a social person who likes to meet up with friends, or more of a family / homegirl who likes to stay home rather than go out much? At the moment, I'm such a homebody. Kind of say it depends on what stage I am in terms of childbearing and how exhausted I am and how much of my energy I have to give away to my children. I find it really difficult to go out a lot and like feel like I have a lot of relations to look after, you know what I mean? At the same time, like I just meet up probably with friends maybe 3 to 4 times a month. A lot of them are in the city, because I can speak actually relatively decent German, but I don't have like any like great friends who are Germans. So a lot of them are in the city, so that's probably why else I hardly ever see them, like my close friends that I really make the effort to like go visit. I do have friends that like I meet at the park here, like kind of by accident, and then we talk. Like this neighborhood's just not very international compared to the one in Munich, and that's okay. I think I am like one of those people who really needs to go inward and recharge a lot. What's your favorite workout routine and how do you stay motivated? Well, my favorite workout routine is currently my new glute routine, which I started for the month of October, which I really want to share with you guys. So my gym is always so packed and busy, and it's super embarrassing bringing a camera. So I really do at one point want to go when it's not super busy, which seems like never these days, and I want to film that routine for you guys. So I do have like a really good glute program that I have myself on, which I'm really seeing a lot of results with. I want to show you guys as soon as possible. And how do I stay motivated? I follow, like, my Instagram account has pretty much only become people who absolutely inspire me and motivate me. I've deleted like all other accounts that I just find either boring or just like irrelevant or just kind of like show-offy, you know what I mean? Like people who like put out good content and good tips, which I want to start doing more of as well. Right now it's just kind of more of my results because it's all I can kind of squeeze in there at the moment. But yeah, so I just follow a lot of really inspirational people and their tips and like their kind of like fun new ways of exercising like gives me a lot of good ideas. Like I like to switch it up. I don't like to stick to the same thing. I really like going to the gym because it feels like everybody's there to work out, and most of the time anyways, and you know, it's just a good vibe for the most part. I actually, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I had like a stalker at the gym, which wasn't really cool. So that was annoying, and that recently happened, but up until that point the gym had really good vibes. And yeah, anyways, I think joining a gym can be really, really motivational. Don't let the stalker scare you. Oh, I really like this one. Blissful Simple Life. Do you still make your products like back in the day? I don't as much. I do still make like simple things like exfoliation scrubs, like with my coffee bean essential oil for my cellulite, or like certain shea butters or body whips. I don't do it as much as I used to, and I think I should get back into that because it's really fun, creative outlet for sure. This is a good one. Loving Danny 09. So since you have been experiencing both boys and girls, who do you think is easier? You know, it's kind of hard because like it's kind of like very general to say, oh, one's easier than the other, and I only have like experience with one boy and two girls. But out of my bunch, I would have to say boys are like a whole other ball game. I think that they are difficult. Like if like the energy levels are higher and like he's faster, he's stronger, it's interesting. I wouldn't say I mean, like, yeah, he is kind of boxy, and like he just hits, and he's really strong. It's hard to explain. I don't know. Maybe it's just how he is as a person. But so far, he seems a little bit more intense than my girls. How to survive in a country where you don't speak the language. So what I did, and I'm not sure like how good of advice this is, but I actually just made tons of English expat friends. In Munich, there were so many, but that kind of hindered my German growth by a lot, especially in the beginning. So definitely learning the language, obviously taking a language course, or if you have like a partner, like you moved because you moved with a partner, like only speaking German with him, which I'm saying that as an advice, but we never do that. Like we just found it awkward. We only speak English with each other. But honestly, my German would probably be like 100 times better if we would just speak German with each other, but that's a tip. But yeah, I don't like it. I think it's weird. He thinks it's weird, and we just, I don't know what it is. We just don't like it at all. It's just not for us. This one's cool. Okay, so which kid is the most like you and in what ways? You know what? I don't know. I think I'm going to say Olive. She's the most like physical. Well, Darian's pretty physical too, but I think she thrives the most with physical activity over other kinds of activities, very much like I do. And she's very independent, yet social at the same time. Like she has a lot of friends, but she's quite like to herself. So she's outgoing as well, but she's also very introverted. And we both struggle a little bit with keeping tidy and organized quite a bit, whereas Hubs and Leia are like the complete opposite. And the one thing I will say is that she's not as much of a chatterbox as I am. She is at night. That's one thing she also has in common with me. She's a total night owl. Both her and I cannot we just can't turn our minds off, I guess you could say. And she's all chattery at night, but like Leia Bug, during the day, she's the more chattery of the two, and I'm one of those people who never stops talking. Like Hubs is like, sometimes we can hang out and not talk, but like I always want to talk like constantly, and that's how Leia is. Whereas like Olivia, if I pick her up from school, I'm like, how was your day? And she's like, it was good, but then she'll tell me all about it in the evening. So I don't really know which one's more like me, but I'm gonna go with Olive. Like I really, really think like we have really similar energy as well, and I find sometimes that we can pull each other into hyperdrive a little bit easier, whereas like Leia kind of chills me out and I kind of, I guess, motivate Leia a bit, and then with Olivia it's like we're just two like spazzes, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna say Olive. All right, this one was a really commonly asked question actually, and that is, do I have a gender preference if we were to have a fourth child? No, I don't think I would. Like I said, boys are more intense, so I'm a little bit more inclined to saying maybe it'd be a bit easier if we had another girl. But I'd be open for another thunderstorm, tornado, I guess, if we were to be blessed with one, but I don't know. I really don't have any preference. I mean, I did have like a slight preference to know what it's like to experience having a little boy when I had two girls, but at the same time, it's like I loved the individual that was growing inside of me, regardless of gender or anything else that was going to come with, and now somebody's parking their car and staring at me while I'm doing this. Right. So, okay, and then I'm going to take one more, which I thought was such a good one, and that is, if your 18-year-old self saw you in your life now, would you be happy? So I have to kind of think back on my 18, sorry, I'm looking at the guy who parked his car. He's looking at me. It was awkward. Okay, so if I have to kind of think back on like what my 18-year-old self was like, so what was I doing at 18? At 18... yeah, so I had my San Francisco life going on. I think so. I think she would. Actually, I know she would because she hated being fat, so she would be really happy to see that I lost weight and that I know that it's possible and that I'm super fit now, because that was something that she always wanted, to feel fit and capable and I guess strong as well. She always wanted to have kids. Like that was always Danielle's number one priority since childhood. Like you could even say my child self would absolutely be thrilled about my life, and I always wanted to have lots of little girls. And I have two girls. I always kind of envisioned myself having 5 kids, and I always thought that there would be 4 girls and a boy. And I have 2 girls and a boy, and now I'm a little bit more realistic headed about how many kids I can actually handle, but that was always kind of the wish. She'd be happy to see that I live in a house and all of the kids have their own nicely decorated themed rooms. That was always a big dream of mine. Yeah, I think overall she'd be happy. I think she'd be a bit confused about why I decided to go on and have kids before 30, because that was the plan at 18, but I think she'd be cool with it. So yeah, that's all I'm going to answer for today. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I did not drink a sip of that tea. Let's take a sip. Tastes like Indian spices. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did. Thank you all so much for asking all your questions. Follow me on Instagram if you want to, keep up with us on the daily. I'm always updating on there. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye.